Hi everybody, Raging back with another Mechabellum video. Tarantulas have been out of the meta for a long time, but now they're kind of back. And so that's what I have for you today. I have a spider carry game, so let's get right into it. I have gone with the Typhoon Specialist, with the Tarantulas and the Fangs. I like this opener with the Fangs. You just get like crawlers, basically, and just put them right behind the Tarantulas. Our opponent, Soja, is 2k MMR, as are we in this game. He has gone with Quick Supply Specialist here, which has lots of options now, since there's 0 unlock fees on like Mustangs and everything else, basically. Choose to start anyway, really. But since he has no chaff, he decides to get some chaff, gets Fangs. I think that's pretty important to do. I like the Quick Supply Specialist better right now when you start with chaff. That way you can freely unlock like another type of unit and get 2 of it also. Like you can kind of just get like sabers even if you already had like fangs and tanks or something. But that's not the case here. So he's gone with 3 fangs, and we have set up here on the left with a couple crawlers, fangs, tarantulas. We're going to be pushing this side ASIM. Center crawlers here will pull his units from the right to the left. Not centered enough. The arc light is still going for the tower, so probably could have centered it better. Not that it really would have mattered, because this tarantula is now caught out fighting both packs of sledges and the arc light, and even though we're able to take the left side out here, I just won't have enough damage against this pod of units, especially with the debuff coming in. So my opponent takes round 1 with some sledgehammers and arc lights alive. Round 2, we do get item and intensive training. My opponent does have sledgehammers, which he could take extended range on, but it does nerf their health. And when I'm playing Tarantula, or if you're facing Tarantula, you don't really want to nerf the health of the tanks against Tarantula, since Tarantula does pretty well against them once you get like splash and range and stuff. So opponent goes with haste module. I also take the haste module here. Intensive training is something you can do, but I wanted to get a Phoenix, and if I take intensive training, it's just a little awkward, I think. So I'd rather have the item on like this strong tarantula here, because on this round I can also take high mobility to try and get ahead of, like, maybe he goes after my tower here. He could put like crawlers here or like a flying unit. I'm just putting crawlers here, so I do take speed. That's the reason I go with it, because I'm trying to get to this tower quicker. And I'm also hoping I can clear out his fangs and just win with like the Phoenix. So he does have haste module. He slams it down on a sledgehammer, and he just gets 3 packs of chaff of crawlers. So as long as we can kill these fangs, we will take the round with the Phoenix. Going air round 2 against a board that, you know, only really has like fangs and stuff is pretty good. You can get rewarded a lot of the time just for having a flying unit, especially if your opponent like doesn't have adequate AA, which he does have these fangs, but we still have the haste tarantula here. By the way, these are my tarantula techs. They have been this for a long time. These are my Phoenix techs. So yeah, we will take this round. And Spider gets a level with the haste module, so very nice. What you want to do when you're playing Spider is you want to keep attacking from different angles, and you want to keep building toward the idea of adding the spider mines. Spider mines, when you have lots of tarantulas, can overwhelm your opponent. So right now he doesn't have adequate clear for spider mines. Something that he might need is Vulcans or Mustangs. I find those to be some of the best for clearing the spider mines. So starting to expand over here to the right, since he is showing there was an incendiary bomb. I took extended range Phoenix on this round, which ends up being a little bit lackluster, but I take it anyway, because if you take extended range Phoenix, you can go charge shot basically for free, and you don't really lose like the range that the charge shot typically gives you. So it's kind of a nice pairing. So I've just expanded here to the right. I have a Fang to defend this tower now, and opponent is going to go Mustang, since I'm showing Phoenix, and also it's like 2-in-1, right? You can sort of cover the spider mine idea with it, like in the future, and also be able to have AA for my Phoenix. He piles it here on the left. Good thing we're expanded over here to the right now. So we will burn though. Kind of just betting, like, I kind of thought he would burn me, but if I go over here, his units will run through his own fire at the end, right? So having units alive over here on the right is kind of nice. And that is what's going to happen here. These units are going to run through here. So he won't have, like, Mustangs or anything like that left. And Fangs, and some of the Arclights will die. But he does have these hasted Sledgehammers, so those will be pretty strong still against my Tarantula. Yeah, and with the tower debuff also, this Tarantula's going to disappear. But not too bad, even with the fire round. And we also now have the Tarantula on the flank over here already, loaded in. I'm scared of the melting point here, obviously. Like, Rhino is kind of an idea since I'm already sort of speeding at him. Opponent can take Stormcallers, pretty good into the spiders. Does go melting point, though. I think it's the right pick. It's big. It's huge for round 4. Level 2 melting point is ridiculous. I take the level 2 Phantom Rays, and since I'm Typhoon spec, I also get my Typhoon, so I kind of just pile it up here. I like to pile many units on top of each other these days. So I go Crawler, Typhoon, and Phantom Ray, since he has Mustangs showing here. Obviously, he has the melting point here now, which it's actually placed back far enough where it kind of takes all this out of play, which is a little annoying, but I put it all here because of the Mustangs in the back. He adds Mustangs over here as well, and we flank with some Rays. I'm thinking about maybe potentially building towards the same idea on this side, but since he already sort of has it countered, and the melting point will be a problem for me right now, I need to probably sell this, basically. I do take range on Tarantula this turn. Opponent takes range on Mustangs, and I add another Tarantula over here to the shallow flank on the left. So we're going to sort of surround him with Tarantulas. That's the idea. We are shooting the Arclight already, which is kind of good. Range makes sense for me here since I'm against Mustangs. I need a way of, like, dealing with them eventually, and range will also allow my Tarantulas to stay back and potentially get some much-needed levels. But, like I said, the level 2 melting point is absurdly strong for round 4, so we just don't have what it takes. Something my opponent might think about doing is leveling his towers. He hasn't done that. When I'm being aggroed at, like if I'm defending or something, I really like to beef up my towers. Look, I even have a tower that's leveled here, but it does not. So something you might want to incorporate in your games if you're being aggroed into is just level the tower that you find to be most difficult to defend. A lot of the times it will save you. Opponent goes with improved firepower control system. Makes sense since he has level 2 Stangs. Very strong item for them. I'm deciding between redeployment and improved firepower, which I do eventually take here. Improved firepower control, and we have a level up on the Tarantula over here, so seems just natural to sort of stick it on this guy over here. I do sell the Rays up here in the top. I could have gone armor, which actually would have worked here and locked up these Mustangs for a while, but I'm just going to go with the Tarantulas. I'm going to try and overwhelm the melting point with just, you know, extra speed, range, and eventually spider mine. So I do take mech rage here. So now this boy's moving at 17. If I ever choose to click speed, which basically I will from here on in, he'll be moving at 20. My other guys will be moving at 15. So basically as fast as crawlers, these Tarantulas. This has been a composition that I've run for a while. It did fall out of favor when Sabretooth was like pretty OP, but it does feel like it's back. Phoenix is nice to pair with it, but Phoenix hasn't been doing shit. Now we have lots of spiders here. I added one to the front. Let's see if we can start to get in here. This melting point is still a pain in my ass. But we are shooting faster and running faster, so maybe we have a chance against the melting point. Maybe. Range and extra shooting also, like, will guarantee that we are going to get levels on these Tarantulas as long as they keep killing the Sledgehammers and the Mustangs. Alright, so that one dies and actually allows us to get another... I think we... Do we get another level on this Tarantula? No, we don't. It does get melted. All right. So we're losing to the melting point every round so far. It's the only thing I have to really worry about. So these options here on round 6 are not that great. There is Stormcaller, which I could potentially add here, which would be not that bad, really, right? Farseer, it doesn't do anything for me. He has too much chaff and sledgehammers and stuff. It's just not going to cut it. So there's the idea I could go Sandworm, right? Because I could try to just overpower and battering ram my way in. But Fortress is just so solid. It also gives me the option of putting a barrier near my carry spiders. So I will eventually go with that. Opponent has a level 3 melting point here now. I do eventually go with the level 2 Fortress. He's going to oil us this turn, which is actually something that I suspected. I thought he might take Stormcallers there. I actually didn't see what... Oh, he took the Farseer and sold it. Okay. So he's just going to get more melting points now, which is really annoying and good into this, what I'm doing here. Melting point is tanky. Even though Tarantula's shooting faster, moving faster, they don't have what it takes just yet, to kill the melting point. Maybe unless we have a tower debuff, so... I do go with the shield here, like I said, to help keep our tarantulas alive. That's the point. And if there is oil, it doesn't matter if it's on this side or this side. The Fortress should walk forward and be able to block at least a little bit of it. That's what I'm sort of betting. Since I kind of suspected Stormcaller fire, to be honest. But yeah, this is all we can really afford this turn, is the Fortress with barrier. And he has 2 more melting points. The Stangs here... they almost actually clear the way for the melting point to connect to this big tarantula out here, but it doesn't really quite work. And so, because of that, we can take the tower, we can kill the melting point, and this tarantula is now level 3 with a really good item. We take this tower as well, and we get a pretty nice win here on round 6. Since I haven't really done that much damage to him, it's pretty important that I definitely start to do that. There's about half health now. The spiders are starting to get pretty big. So the mobilized battleship, yeah. I take the Wasp Swarm since it's cheaper, and I'm going to defend against the... I pretty much just know he's going to take the battleship, right? The Wasps will not cut it, since I am... aware of that. I will need extra chaff to keep the battleship distracted for a while. In case you don't know, a mobilized battleship with 1 volley can take out a level 2 tower. Even though I level this to level 2, 1 good volley on it would take it out in 1 shot. But I do add late fangs back here as well. Also pick up some crawlers. Just want to distract the melting point here on the right. And his fire's back up, so everything I have will burn. I kind of suspect I'm going to lose this round. Hopefully don't lose the game, though, since he has 5 melting points now with energy absorption, which makes this guy super tanky, 162,000 health. And I couldn't really... I have to play around the spell, so I couldn't get any more Fortress or anything, so we're just going to kind of hope we don't die here. So I do Lone and temp range, temp speed, because I still need to try and get these towers. If he levels these towers to level 3, I lose the game pretty much immediately, I think. So there's the spider mines. I sold the Typhoon to afford the spider mines here, since I feel like I just need more chaff on the ground. And they also run through the fire. Okay, they have enough health to do that. So we do get this tower, and we've killed a battleship in the back with the fangs and the wasps. But this is a huge melting point and a huge problem. He also has late fangs coming in, stopping us from getting this tower here. We do have these fangs alive. They probably walk through the fire, though. We do have the spider mines, so spider mines here will actually save us a lot of health. Because these melting points are stuck shooting the spider mines now instead of my Fortress. It'll basically kill everything except this is unkillable right now. Even with tower debuff, it's just has so much health, it's insane. And it's healing. So on round 8, we get some more free units offered. I kind of suspect, since I just took Spider Mine, he's taking Vulcan. It's pretty obvious. There is the idea he could take Wasp and flank me, since I don't really have very good defense. So what I do is I take the Wasp and actually just use them as defense. He ends up selling the tanks that had the haste module on them. He does take the level 2 Vulcan, sticks it over here on the left, wants to defend his chunky melting point with the, like I said, Mustangs and Vulcans are great against the Spider Mines, so he has both. He has both of them. So Spider Mines in theory won't be that great for me, but he also, look, he gets more Vulcans. He needs Scorch, though, to kill the mines, because the mines actually have kind of a lot of health. So I think Scorch for him is better than range. I think that's a mistake for him to do that, since he already has like range on melting points and stuff. And he doesn't really have like a huge shaft clear problem. I decided to go with Fortress. More Fortress with Punch, since the Punch Splash can... He hasn't leveled these towers, which I'm noticing. Punch Splash is 25 meters. If it can hit like right around here, it will blow that tower up immediately. So that's what I'm sort of banking on when I go Rocket Punch here. I do have defensive Wasps in the back. And my plan is to start selling them off, but I just want him to see that I have defense, so he chooses not to flank me next turn. This spider here is actually really, really good. It's immediately connecting to this Vulcan, which killing this Vulcan is... We really need to kill that Vulcan. It's blocking the way for that level 4 melting point back there, which now has 216,000 health. We are able to get the tower over here on the right, and actually the Wasps that come in late here are pretty helpful because a lot of the Stangs are already dead. So they're just distracting the melting points more. And now we have lots of spiders alive, and we still have these late fangs that came in from way in the back. And these spider mines are doing a lot of damage now. See that? So I think this is looking good. We can get some more spider mines out here. We're going to take him down. Yep, we took down the big melter. So now that we have the big melter solved, what we really need now, because there's so many friggin... Look at all these. So what's something that he can do to slow my push down, right? Well, obviously he gets an Ion Blast, which is like perfect against my fortresses. It's good for me too. I take the Ion Blast here, since I can like get a lot of these melters with one like line. Pretty nice. It is worse technically. It's better against me, since this right side relies on these fortresses so much. I also do suspect the Electromag Barrage will shut down my Rocket Punch. It's a very common play for people to take. So what I'm doing right now is math, figuring out how I can get a boat right here with Photon. So I sell these Wasps on the left, since I do have 2 packs of Fangs that might help me next turn. Like I said, I'm going to go with Boat and Photon, just because of the Electromag on the... He did take it this turn, but so that's a preemptive play there, since it's obvious it's what he needs. So this will slow me down, though, the Ion Blast, and pretty sure it will result in the loss of the round. So I'm deciding if I want another boat or if I want another fortress. And he's also gone with Shielded Fangs. It's very, very good against me since I don't have Splash yet on Tarantula. Yeah, I go with another fortress. And I put it right behind this fortress, since I do want my fists to try and hit that tower still. That's still the idea. And now these guys won't be Electromag Barraged as well. These shields are helping a lot, but now we're falling to the Ion Blast, and we basically only damaged his units. We haven't killed them with the Ion Blast. Since they have energy absorption, they have a lot more health. And it was really important that I went Photon there, since we're still getting our fists off. If I don't do that, I think I lose the game on that round right there. We are now getting Electromagged. But look, this Tarantula over here on the left has taken out that Vulcan. We do get the tower. He levels. The Spider Mines are going to save us a ton of damage here. And the Fangs, the late Fangs. The Fangs that are coming from back here, by the way. That's what these Fangs are. Late Fangs, very much needed. We almost kill the Vulcan, but too little too late. So he does win this round because of Ion Blast. So hopefully no more Ion Blast, right? Two spells, two of the same spell would be awful. Ion Blast. So we're going to take Ion Blast because, you know, double spell, sure, right? It worked last time. This shouldn't be a thing, by the way. I don't think that you should be able to get the same spell twice in a row. It destroyed me last time. It gets another one. So I'm deciding between Absorption Module and Ion Blast, but this is still the obvious pick, right? I have to go with that. And his oil is back up. So everything will be on fire. And so I'm trying to think, how can I kill... What can I do here? Yeah, so I max tech the Tarantula since he's showing fangs with shield, and we almost got him last time. What really was slowing me down mostly was the shielded fangs. I actually thought about ion blasting just the fangs, but I'm gonna go with all of these units, and I'm just gonna get elite recruited tarantulas. We do eventually sell this other pack of wasps to fund this play. Now we'll have lots of chaff clear, and if all of his chaff is dead and we have a million spider mines running around, in theory, we win, right? Because you saw last round, we almost actually won the round because of the spider mines and the late fangs. So just more chaff clear, and hopefully we can get there. So I do pile the tarantulas on this side since we still need to kill the big melting point. Let's see how we go here. Ion Blast again only damages these units, doesn't actually kill them. We still have the photon over here, which is great. And all of his fangs have been cleared a lot quicker. So now because the fangs are not in the way of the rocket punches, we can actually hit that tower, which has been the plan for like 3 turns, and it finally works because we clear the fangs. And now there's just too many fortresses and spider mines for these melting points to deal with, so that will be a game. It's nice to take down a guy who makes a bunch of melters and a bunch of Vulcans. It really feels good. So let's take a look at the battlefield here. Like I said, my opponent here is, I think he was like 2019 MMR or something like that, and we're basically the same in this game. So we get the Max Tech Tarantula game here, the carry Tarantulas. The idea that you kind of want to go with, right, from the start is you want to start to flank with them. You want to try and get as many as you can on the flanks. Even if they're countered, like in the interim, early on in the game, like maybe they put rhinos or something, people like to do that. Eventually, once you click these techs like Mech Rage and Spider Mines, something that wasn't working before suddenly starts to work. So just getting them on the flanks is honestly a lot of the strategy. And so we only went with the shallow flank here, but you could also expand up into the tops. We ended up selling all the flank units as well as all of our defensive units at the end there. At the end, we had 8 tarantulas. We had 5 fortresses with punch, which are our tower taking unit, and our shields to keep our spiders safe. The photon was needed on the Overlord here just to keep the rocket punches going against Electromag Barrage. Lots of chaff in 3 waves. Front chaff, center chaff, which we placed early on, actually on the first round, and then late chaff. They're not even that slow. They're at 9 meters per second every time I click this, so they act as defense, and then they act as chaff at the end. And we just triple recruit the tarantulas for the chaff clear, and then we can connect to his major units, the melting points and the Vulcan. Vulcan melting point, that's a very strong defense with the shielded fangs, but HE tarantula makes fangs non-existent. So if you've been put off spiders in the last few weeks because of like the saber start or something, give them a try again. I think that they're in a really good spot. They're really strong, especially if you can get like levels early. You definitely need levels. So any chaff heavy board or a Mustang heavy board, your spiders are going to have a really good time, especially if they have high explosive ammo and range. These 2 obviously are like, I feel like they're not the first ones you take. You probably take range so that the spiders can get the levels. If they are massing sledgehammers and fangs, you can always take the high explosive ammo. And then once these are sort of like online, or maybe you don't need high explosive ammo yet, you know, you Mechanical Rage is crazy strong. It makes the spiders really fast, especially with items like Haste Module, look, 20 meters per second Tarantula. The spider mines also are really, really fast. You know, don't necessarily take the same order I went in on the... I did Range, then Mech Rage, then Spider Mines, then HE, but like, you have to take the techs in a logical order based on what you're facing. Like, whatever makes most sense, right? To like, what's right in front of you. Eventually, if you can get all of them, these units are nuts. So anyway, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and potentially even learned something. If you did enjoy the video, throw a like at it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I do a lot of recaps like this, as well as live games. Try to tailor my channel towards education. If you're left still asking questions, ask away in the comments. I'll do my best to answer, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.